Hi, I'm Jason, and this is my fly tying desk. I thought it might be interesting to kind of give you a little bit of a show and tell and just kind of show you my setup and some of the tools and materials I usually use. Because we all like to know what other fly tyers are doing and kind of compare notes and see if other people out there are doing some interesting things that might inspire us to do some interesting things. So, as you can see, I've got some artwork and some decorations around my desk to give me inspiration. These are all Japanese experts that have tied these, and I've had them custom framed. So I've got people like Hirata-san, Sebata-san. Over here I've got Fujioka from My Best Streams. I also have some Oni flies, of course. I've got Tanaka-san and some Dr. Ishigaki flies. So these I like to have surround my desk because I feel like there's some kind of energy from the tyers that I really respect and that are my fishing heroes. To have that around me kind of makes me get into the mood for fly tying a little bit more and gives me ideas. So that's some of the artwork I've got here. There's my old Tenkara license plate. I was the first, I think, and only one in Colorado to do that, and some other people got them around the country, but I keep it around just to kind of remember my Tenkara roots, if you will. Right here I've got my mini vacuum cleaner. Got to have a dust buster around the fly tying desk. I don't know why some people like to keep it there so messy. They're almost proud of how messy their desk is. I like to keep a clean desk, as you'll see. Up here, I've got my pipe collection. I love to smoke a tobacco pipe when I'm tying flies. I've got some feathers up here. These are just long feathers that don't fit well in a drawer. So I've got some turkey tail, peacock swords. I've got some pheasant tails and other things up there. That's just a carved wooden fish. Again, gets me thinking about having fish on the brain. This is a piece of driftwood I found that I really liked and turned it into a fly display. These are all flies tied by Oni, except for one. Let's see if you can guess which one is mine. Up here, I've got my Oni shadow box that you might have seen in my video from the Oni school that I presented to him as a gift. And here I've got a original Dr. Ishigaki spool that I got from one of the Tenkara USA summits. Here are some of my wooden line spools from Dennis at Tenkara Path. These are really the only spools I fish right now, just wooden ones from Dennis. And some random books. I'm not really much of a book collector. So that's the top of my desk. And starting over here on this side, these are just kind of a random collections of things. So I've got, these are all loop materials for eyeless flies. So I've got silk dyed cord and stuff like that in there. I've got brass beads, tungsten beads, glass beads is one of these. I think it's the one where the label fell off. This is a bunch of random, these are specialty Tenkara hooks from Japan. And here I've got, those are more hooks, a bunch of eyeless random hooks. And then here, this is one of my favorite drawers because this is my special thread drawer. So I've got a lot of silk threads, all different colors in here, and I've got some metallic threads and embroidery threads, all different kinds of non-traditional fly tying threads. And as you know, I do tie with a lot of actual silk. Up here, I've got this little door, which is kind of cool. I love this desk. I've got some glass beads that I use for tying for my Etsy shop, a coffee grinder for blending fur, making my own custom dubbings, some wax and glues, and there's a really big hair stacker up there, just some random stuff. I don't use too much of this very often. So then I've got more, these are all hooks, specifically trout hooks. So there's no order to these. I literally just kind of shove them in wherever they happen to fit, which is a real nightmare when you're trying to find the right hook for whatever pattern you're tying for that day. Okay, so over here, this is like a little, it's actually a jewelry holder, I think, or something, but it's a little boat that I thought was kind of neat. And I hang my scissors and my pliers, my hackle pliers and things up here. So I really have nowhere else to put these, and I don't like throwing them in a drawer because they get all tangled up and things. There's a bunch of junk here, some old catalogs and things like that. This is my lamp that I recently got. This is a canvas lamp, and it's pretty cool because up here I can put my iPhone, and you can take aerial videos. So I'm planning on doing some fly tying videos and some other kind of talking hands videos with that. But anyway, this is great, and it doubles as my fly tying light. I can change the temperature, so I can make it warmer, I can make it bluer, whiter, and then of course I can change the brightness. So for me, this is a really great light because it's multi-use. I can use it for so many different things that I do. So I love that lamp. And then here I've got my hair stackers. Really don't use these too much except for balloon caddis for the shop. That's about it. Here's some random, there's my razor that I use to cut the thread on my flies. And then you might notice these cigar boxes down here. Actually, each one of these is full of thread, wire, tinsel, whatever. And that's just how I like to store my thread. So for example, these are, I think, those are 8/0. So I've got 6/0, I've got wire, tinsel, basically if it's a spool, it's in one of these boxes. And I got those on eBay. Just found someone who's getting rid of a bunch of them. So, okay, now, my vise. This is my Regal medallion. It's my favorite vise in the world. I'm not a fan of rotary vices or anything like that. I like a simple vise, and I love this because of the spring-loaded jaws. There's no adjustments that are necessary or anything like that. It's just really simple. It's built like a tank. This thing will last forever. So that's absolutely hands down my favorite vise. And then I attached a Dynaking background plate to it just so it's easier to tie flies, and I change out the color based on which pattern I'm tying. So sometimes blue is a better background. I have olive, I have bright green, black for light colored flies. So it's easy for me to switch out the background color to get the best contrast. Okay, so over here I've got my tools. And as you can see, I'm a pretty big fan of tie-right bobbins. I love the adjustable drag, if you will, on these. But these are just great, and they've got the ceramic tube. So I pretty much switched to tie-right for all my bobbins. And then I just have some of the threads and wires that I use mostly, again, things for the Etsy shop. Then I've got some spare bobbins and random tools, dubbing rakes, tweezers. These are my favorite hackle pliers, just the simple electric test clip ones. I use these probably 99% of the time. And then just a few different sizes of whip finishers and odds and ends like that. Okay? That brings us to the drawers. So, this top one isn't a lot of fly tying stuff. I've just got some yarn and chenille and things I don't really use too much in here. These are kind of a lot of legacy items. I've got like even glow bug yarn back when I used to tie steelhead flies, so I don't use this too much. Down here, these are my boxes for the Etsy shop in my stamper that I stamp when an order is complete. I put that in the box. These are just some stickers that I put in there, business cards, and some dubbing teasers I include if anyone buys a Shetland killer. So I've just got I've got some sharpening stones and things like that in here, just kind of random stuff. Down here is my dubbing drawer. I've got everything basically divided by color. And then I've got some other bags. I've got, like, for example, this one's all SLF. I've got some ones that are only natural dubbing. I've got some ones that are just blends of dubbing I've made. So I've got all just different dubbing that I've collected from the years. And I really don't use a lot of this stuff, but you never know. One day you might need that one color that you've been saving for 10 years for no reason. Here is my yarn collection, and this goes down pretty deep. I've got, I don't know how many skeins of Shetland spindrift, but of course I use these for the Shetland killers, for the Shetland fruit suit, for some soft hackle patterns, and a lot of you know that I love Shetland spindrift, and it's become actually pretty popular in Tenkara right now, so that's why I have such a big collection of that. All right, so to the side, this drawer is kind of a quick access drawer. So these are materials that I use a lot for the shop. So I've got some smaller pieces of pheasant, some elk hair and things like that. And again, just some kind of random stuff here. But I use some of these materials for example, the Japanese lantern, and, things like that. So here's a whole bag of crystal flash and stuff, but I don't know why I have that in there. And then this drawer is some of my peacock hurl, and I've got actually more elk hair in there. This is just random feathers, so I've got mallard and all kinds of turkey quills and goose biots, ostrich hurl, all kinds of feathers, basically. So, as you can imagine, I use this drawer quite a bit. And then, this is the drawer I use the most because it's my hackle drawer. So, I've got probably 6 or 7 hen pheasant skins in here. I've got just all different kinds of hen necks and saddle hackles and pretty much every color and type and size you can imagine. So this drawer gets a lot of use. And then back here I've got my dry fly hackle, and that's usually whiting 100s that I use for dry fly. So I've got some of the colors that I use most in there. And finally, I go to my favorite drawer, which is my junk drawer. I open this probably 50 times a day because it's got whatever I need, it's in here somewhere if I can find it. And I'm sure all of us have our own junk drawers in our fly tying desk, but anyway, this is mine. So surprisingly, I can find whatever I need in here. So there's a lot of a lot of useful tools in here for the right situation. So anyway, that's a quick tour of my desk. I'd love to see what yours looks like, so please post a photo or a video.